Good morning. I want to play a game of good, better, best. Have you heard of this? Maybe it's just a me thing. I don't know. But here's how I improve things in my life. I don't try and jump to the perfect version because I fully understand that our brain needs to make new neural connections and pathways for the new choice that we're subbing out for the old choice. So I don't believe it's a good thing to go from here to here in one hit. We need to go good, better, best. Okay. And I just realized I've called it good, better, best, but it's more probably current, better, best. Because let's take bread as an example. So there might be current, good, better, best. Let's go that way. Currently, you're having white bread that has got all the chemicals under the sun, will last for 10 days in the pantry without going off or moldy, and is still as super soft as the day you bought it. That's your current. Okay. Asking you to going to have no bread or to have a carnivore version of bread, or that's too much of a jump in one hit. It's like for most people, it is just too much. It will cause detox, it will cause all kinds of nasty things that won't make you want to make those new neural pathways happen. You just won't. Okay. Or you might do it for a little bit and go, oh, bugger this, right? So we've got to kind of make those habits good, better, best to get to the version of, oh no, no, this is actually good for me now. So let's go back to bread. Say you're having that white bread, the only bread you can get in some cases, whatever, or it's often the cheapest bread you can get. Whatever the reason is that you're having that bread, you know it's not good for your lipedema. You know it's not good for inflammation. If you've got gut problems, it's really not good for that. So, what's the good? The good might be a sourdough bread that you make from scratch. Who knows? And that might be okay for you for a year or two, is to get out of that habit of buying that cheap chemicalized bread. And now you're having sourdough, which is better on the gut. It's not got the yeasts and things. It's a fermented bread, which you can play around with the grains that might be better for you. Okay, so that would be the next step. A year or so into the sourdough, you might go, oh, you know what? I want to, work on my ketones a little bit more. I want to do a little bit more, fat loss, or see if going keto more specifically helps me, down the track. So you might swap to then keto wraps. So that would be a low carb wrap. And there's one that my husband loves, and I love it too, but I just don't eat it very often if I can help it. But it's soft, it's pliable. I will put images on the screen, and it's a mission one, and it's called no low carb balance or something like that. And that might be your next step, is to not have the soft, lovely sourdough bread, but then to move to just having wraps if you feel like you need bread. Put whatever it is you would normally put inside, on top of a loaf of bread, inside the wrap. We've even used those wraps as like not pizza, but pizza pockets, and put the same ingredients, but more sort of carnivore based or keto based inside the wrap. Beautiful. Okay. So that might be your next step, is then for the next year or so, getting it in your head that no, you don't eat bread anymore. You only eat wraps, keto wraps. Okay. And when I say you don't eat bread anymore, 20% of the time, you might go out to a restaurant, you might, have brunch with somebody, have the bread, enjoy your life. Okay. We don't know how long we're here for. Have the bread every now and again, unless it puts you on a slippery slope of eating more bread and more bread and more bread. Then no, don't have the bread. Okay. That's my only caveat there. I don't eat things that will send me on a spiral wanting more things. That's just a no-brainer for me, because then it's just so much harder to reel it back in. So we've got the good, going to sourdough. We've got the better, the keto wraps, and you can also make your own keto wraps. I will put a link to a recipe down below that I've used for years using almond meal, almond flour for my American friends, and super easy to make. You can make one at a time. They're really filling. It's got next to nothing in it. It takes me 5 minutes to make one. And I actually also cut those wraps up and throw them in the air fryer and turn them into crackers a lot of the time so that you've got a keto cracker. I don't eat them a lot because they do affect the scales, maybe because I'm mostly carnivore. But again, if I'm just having them every now and again, not a problem. So the next version up from that, the best would be, say, something like the cottage cheese egg wraps that have gone viral all over the internet and TikTok and all these places in the last, I'm going to say 6 months to a year, which is, I have not made them yet. And I just realized I just sold my Ninja Bullet. So I don't think I can even have a go at making them. Anyway, doesn't matter. But see, I'm happy to go without bread. So that's my best, is just going without and having a bowl of meat or stew or, whatever it is with nothing. I'm actually quite, that's my best. So the good, better, best. You've got to figure out what's your best for you. But if you need a wrap or something like that to take to work, for example, to make it easy to eat, or you eat in your car at lunchtime while you're driving, so you need kind of a wrap or something like that that's convenient to your lifestyle, there's no point in your best being something that just doesn't work with your lifestyle because you're never going to do it. Okay. So that cottage cheese, I think it's like a half a cup of cottage cheese and 2 eggs in a whizzy machine. And then you lay it out on a flat tray and you bake it in the oven, and then that's your roll up. If you've tried it, let me know. A lot of people have. I haven't had a go at it. And but that might be your best. Okay, so whatever it is you're trying to remove that is no good for the lipedema. It might be grains, which is the bread. It might be dairy, you're not great with dairy, all kinds of things. Whatever your poison is that you're ready to give up or that you're ready to improve upon, then good, better, best, right? Don't try and jump to, oh, I have a block of chocolate a day and I'm going to go to nothing. I'm not going to have any sugar. Oh my God, you're going to hurt. You're going to hurt. So don't do that. You're a human being. You want to try and be happy even when you're making changes in your world. So do the good, better, best. Go the current. What are you currently doing? What's going to be good? What's going to be better? What's going to be the best? What are you going to aim towards? All right. And while you're having that good, say you're eating the sourdough, you buy your sourdough from a bakery or whatever you're doing. Test out the other options while you're doing, not to be a permanent thing, but one weekend go, you know what? Instead of having sourdough, let's try having a brekkie wrap. See what it's like, knowing that it's not going to trigger you because no, you're not starting on this. You can have your sourdough tomorrow. You can even have your sourdough after the wrap if you don't like it, but use that time of that first year of I'm doing sourdough this year. Let's just try a few of the other things that's going to be the next level. You might find something that you prefer to the sourdough and you move straight into it because you love it, right? You don't know until you've tried things. Anyway, that is my take on how to improve things bit by bit without triggering too much in your emotional state and your mental capacities. Bit at a time gives your brain time to make that new neural pathway that you do not eat that white garbage any longer. That's what we're trying to achieve. I don't know, that's just not something I reach for anymore. Okay. You might have the white French stick in a restaurant, but that's not the same as that white loaf full of chemicals that is designed to stay fluffy and to not go moldy for 10 days. Very different beasts we're talking about here. So, if that helps, I hope that helps. Let me know. How do you give up things? Do you go cold turkey and it doesn't work? That I'd be interested to hear because it certainly doesn't work for me going cold turkey. I kind of need to change my habits up and make them better, better, and better. So if you've not heard of doing it that way, I hope that helped you to think that you're not alone in the fact that you can't just go from here to here in one foul swoop. Not many people can because we're human, right? And that's okay.